this is where it all ended for me being an owner operator right here at this truck stop. I'm in West Plains, Missouri, and right over there behind that building is where I was parked at. And it's been about a year and a half ago. I was delivering right down the street from here. Uh, wow. This is a bittersweet moment for me, folks. I was a owner operator from '07 until 22, I guess it was. I was asking my wife right before I started this video when it was that day happened, and she said, I guess about a year. I asked, was it a year and a half ago? And she said, I guess so, something like that. And that would have put it in 22. I, in case you guys don't know, I was an owner operator for that long. And that truck was a blessing and a curse at the same time. It was, all in all, it was one of the best trucks that I'd ever had. I bought it from a trucking company. It's an '05 T600 with a cat engine. Ran perfect when I bought it, and ran it for probably a year with very little issue. And it was old. It had over 1 million miles on it. I was trying to save up money to keep for a reserve, and I did have a big reserve saved up. At one time, I probably had somewhere around $75,000 in the bank. It was making me good money. I was knocking it out of the ballpark. And then it started having these reoccurring issues where the starter would not engage, is what I thought was wrong. And I was talking to my friends that were owner operators. They were telling me they thought it was the starter as well. But I was also going through a little antifreeze in the truck. I didn't know. And I took it to a shop, started having some work done to it. That set me back even more because of the mechanics that I was picking to work on the truck. They weren't helping. They were hindering me. They were messing stuff up as much as they were fixing on the truck. And it just, all in all, to make a long story short, it all came to a head right here at this truck stop. This is the first time I have been back to this truck stop in a semi truck in a year and a half. And I don't live that far from here, just a couple of hours from here, but I haven't been back to this truck stop in a semi truck. And since that day, since that day, I was parked right back over there. Like I said, I got up that morning. I had the truck shut off, had the APU on it running. Got up, went to hit the key. It had happened so many times before with that truck. I hit the key and it just made a sound like the battery was dead. And I thought, oh crap, the starter went out again. And got out, was tapping on the starter. Sometimes that would help. Worked the key back and forth, and it finally turned over once. It just, and then it just died out. It wouldn't do anything else. I called a service tech out. He worked on it. He tried to pull start it across the parking lot. He tried to do some stuff, and he said, man, I really think your engine is locked up. And I was, no, it's not that. I wasn't wanting to believe it. And weird thing about it, make a long story short, the truck sat right over here in front of me. I can turn the camera around maybe and show you. Right over here in this area, right by that billboard, it sat there I don't know, 8 months, a long time. I took off and went company driving. I said, forget it. I'm done with this truck. I'm done messing with it. It's a freaking pain in my neck. And left it sitting there for a long, long time and hired a tow truck to come pick it up finally and bring it home. I didn't even know what to do. I could care less if somebody stole it, to be honest. I was just done with it. And brought it home. It was sitting in the truck stop near my house, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, 4 months, something like that. Went out one day and, the batteries were dead on it from sitting so long. And went out there and was messing around, putting new batteries on it and everything. I hit the key, whoom, fired right up, ran like a top. And I thought, you piece of crap. You absolute piece of crap. I can't believe this. And it'll start now. I mean, it's in the driveway. It'll start now. I think I know what's wrong with it. Finally, after all of this time, I think I know what's wrong with it. It's got a seep in the head gasket of it. I think that's what it is. And sometimes it just can't get compression, or it gets too much compression, and it gets waterlogged or vapor locked or whatever it's called. I don't know. But it could be the injectors in it. I really think one of the mechanics that I had working on the truck had switched them injectors out. I have reason to believe that is the case. So, anyway, if I got it back on the road, I would probably just do a whole rebuild of the engine just to make 100,000% sure. And I just don't want to put the money into it, I really don't. And I was talking to a friend that is doing a lease purchase. I was talking to him a couple of weeks ago. He is making on average, about $400 to $500 a week more than what I am as a company driver. And he's staying out on the road, 2 weeks at a time, coming in, getting a 34, going right back out again. I don't have anything to complain about. I'm home every weekend. I make decent money. I've got an almost brand new truck here. No problems. I thought it was funny. I come in the other day. My windshield wipers were worn down on this truck and they weren't working right. I just wrote it up and said, hey, needs new windshield wipers. I got in it today, this afternoon. Right up slip was gone out of the truck and I had new windshield wipers. Man, I love this call 1-800-FIX-MY-TRUCK. I love that. And it's not costing me anything. And I'm making, $300 to $400 less a week than someone doing a lease purchase. Wow. Being an owner operator is just not where it's at. It's just not. It needs to be a lot better. And it's funny because I watch a guy on YouTube that he's doing a lease purchase. And he wants to tell everybody how great it is and how much money he's making. And if you're not successful, it's on you and blah, blah, blah and all this. And I just sit there and think, it must be great to be oblivious to what's going on in the world around you. That guy will change his mind when that vehicle gets a few more miles on it and the EGR goes out, the EGR cooler goes out, the turbo goes out, the injectors go out. I heard a guy tell me not long ago, maybe a year ago, if even that that a Kenworth with a Packard went out on the road. They took it to Kenworth. One injector. One. They didn't even replace all of them. Just one injector in that Packard. Over $7,000 for that bill. How far do you think it is going to be before the others go out? You know, the EGR system, the turbo, I had all of that replaced on a Volvo truck that I owned previous to this Kenworth that I have. All of that stuff went out on that Volvo. Almost $20,000, $17,000 that it cost to repair that. And a couple of weeks later, the check engine light was right back on. Try swallowing that jagged pill. I mean, these trucks are just, they're absolute money pits. And I'm not totally against being an owner-operator. I'm not. But if you're only making a couple $100 more being an owner-operator than being a company driver, what's the point? And you're not getting any more home time? What's the point? I've already got my next dispatch. I'm delivering here in West Plains. I go down the road and get another load of bad boys at Batesville, Arkansas. And I'm going over to, I think, Georgia with that load. Let me look real quick. Yeah, going to Georgia with that load. Easy. I pull right up to the place. I know how the bad boy loads are. 99% of them, you can spend the night there where you're delivering to. Pull in there, park. You're ready to go to get unloaded the next morning. Boom, you're gone. This stuff is so easy being a company driver. So why would you want to be an owner-operator? Why would you want to go back to it? Freedom. That's what it made me so angry when my truck went down. It wasn't the money. It wasn't all of that. It was the fact that I had finally gotten to the point where I didn't have a dispatcher. I was my dispatcher. When I got up in the morning, I would start calling brokers. I would get on the load board and start calling brokers and find my own load. And I picked where I went, picked my rates, picked my schedule. When I wanted to go home, I just went home. Didn't call anybody, didn't discuss anything. I just went home. I said, I'm done. I'm going home. If I want to take a week off, I'll take a week off. I didn't even talk to anybody, didn't discuss anything. So that gets to the point where my last video I put out, and people obviously didn't like that at all. They didn't like that video at all. And a few people did, but most people didn't. I've got over 2,000 subscribers on this channel, and anybody can watch the videos. You can pull them in from other channels or people just going by and seeing a video, whatever interests them, right? And man, I think it was up to like 31 views on that last video, and people may be wondering, well, why are you doing a video about stocks when you're trucking in politics? You used to be an owner-operator, now you're a company driver, and you're talking about unifying truck drivers to get the trucking industry better, and now you're switching over to this. To me, folks, it's all integrated. It's all integrated because what I was originally wanting to do with this channel way back when I first started it, the original name was My 20 Years. That was what I originally wanted to call this channel. And it was too vague, it was too open and too vague, and people, I just saw people looking at that going, well, what does my 20 years mean? And then I got to thinking, well, are they talking about a 20-year-old? And I didn't see the point in naming it after I got to thinking about it. And I wanted to do something trucking related. So that's where my 20 years came in. That's where trucking politics come in, is because that's what I like. I've been a truck driver for over 20 years, and I like trucking. I like talking about trucking. I like talking about politics. And there's this other side where, you know, like I explained in my last video, I had that wreck and I was sitting at home just doing nothing, waiting to heal. So I got into stocks. And why not share my, experiences and everything with stocks with you too? Why not? I mean, if you don't like it, if you don't want to do it, sometimes I do sports gambling. I do. I like doing it. I'm not addicted to it. I didn't even make a bet this weekend at all. I didn't even look at sports at all this weekend. And there was a lot of games being played. I think it got mentioned between my wife and I that our local college team won and they were projected to lose. And that was about all that was discussed about, sports and betting and all that stuff. So I'm not, a gambling connoisseur, I guess, or addicted to it or whatever. I can take it or leave it. That's the way I am with that. If it seems like something I would want to do, then I'll participate. If I'm not, I'm not. And I know there's a lot of people that's against that. They're against gambling. They don't, whether it's a religious view or just a personal thing that they don't like about it or whatever. Hey, I mean, it's you, it's your opinion, whatever you want to do. I just, you know, the way it is, I guess my mind, the way I'm thinking, I was so mad whenever my truck went down, when my owner operator truck went down, and the money was just flowing out. I mean, I saw on Tourette Truckers YouTube channel that he's selling one of his trucks, and the reason why is because it costs so much to own and operate that truck. The money's not there. Basically the same thing that happened to me, only his truck, it seems like, is a good truck and it's running and there's no issues with it. Mine, my situation was the same thing, and on top of that, I was having truck issues. I was bleeding money out like crazy. That 75,000 was gone. I mean, wiped out. It was just completely gone. For what? To put into an old piece of crap truck that you'd run down the road a few more miles and you throw another $1,000 into it. Man, I want to be smarter than that. I do. I want to be smarter than that. I wish I could go back to where I had that 75,000 in the bank and just say, no, we're not doing this. We're not going down this route. It's not happening. Be smarter about it. And I say on this channel not to go with corporations and big corporations and trucking and everything, because they have the unfair advantage and everything. And I still feel like that. I still feel like they're putting the small guy down. As an owner operator, with the cost of things now, the cost of trucks, the cost of repairs, all of these costs, and Tourette's Trucker, I'm sure, would agree with me. I don't know him on a personal basis. I don't talk to him. I just listen to his videos and listen to him. I'm sure he would agree with me. There ought to be a base salary for owner operators. You should make a base salary of $10,000 a week per truck. And even then, you're not going to be just, rolling in the money. You're going to have to pay taxes on that and truck maintenance and tags and all of this stuff. So even $10,000 a week is not just superb money. It's not. Not with inflation the way that it is, and fuel the way it is, and taxes and everything. It's just that 10,000 will turn into 2,000, bam, like that. I promise you. And if it doesn't, then you got the tax liability that you're going to have to pay. If everything goes as smooth as it can go, you're still going to get taxed on all that money, and you're going to give it all to the government. So everything needs to change about trucking. Everything from start to finish. And I just, man, I just got so frustrated. I got tired of fighting the fight. And while I'm sitting here thinking about all this and thinking about my situation, I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't feel bad that it's hard working for this company because it's a lot of hours. It's a lot of time that you put in here. But my paycheck is almost a steady, consistent thing every single week. My home time is a steady, consistent thing almost every week. The only thing, I don't get the extra time off that I did as an owner operator, but I don't have to spend all that extra time working on a truck to get back out on the road again either. So there's gives and takes, you know. There's pluses and minuses and all of it. It it was like what the lady in the office told me one day. You will find out where your tolerance level is. And I was thinking, what do you mean by that? What does that mean? You will find your tolerance level. And I think I found it right here about a year and a half ago. My tolerance level with that truck ended. I was done with that truck. I was done being an owner operator. I was done with all of it. My tolerance level ended. And I was mad when I first got on YouTube. I was spouting off and I was angry. And I still am. I still am angry about everything. I'm angry about the government. I'm angry with corporate trucking companies. I'm angry about a lot of things. But it's like, that little kids show, Frozen. You know that show? That song that's in there? You just got to let it go. You have to let it go. If you don't, because it's going to eat you up inside. It's going to turn you into a vicious, angry person that's full of hate. And, you know, things are going to be how they're going to be. I said that in the last video. I was talking to one of the truck drivers and, spouting off about all this stuff and everything. And he said, man, no matter how hard you try, things are going to be how they're going to be. And I was talking about being on YouTube and trying to get truck drivers to unite and for us to all come together and us to make trucking better and all of this. And he was like, you'll never do it. You'll never do it because truck drivers are too independent. They're too worried about themselves. He said, look at the way they do with CBs. The CBs are radio silent 99% of the time. You get into a backup and they all start screaming. What's going on? What lane do I need to be in? Why are we backed up? And once they find out what it is, off goes the radio again. Back to radio silent. It's so hard to get truckers united. It's so hard to get people on the same page because that's the whole basis of being a truck driver, is to be independent and do what you want to do. When we want to take a break, we pull over and take a break. When owner operators want to go home, like me with my Kenworth, when I was booking my own loads, I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't discuss it. I just didn't book a load and I went home. So whenever all the problems come, into trucking and we want to unite to fix them, everybody's got a different idea about how to do it. The good thing about it is if Trump can come into the office and get the government cut down and settled down and all of that, maybe there's a chance that we can get going again with trucking the way it should be. Not the way it is, but the way it should be. So that's why I don't really talk a whole lot about it anymore, about uniting truckers and getting everybody on the same page and everything. It's going to take somebody like Trump or somebody, whoever gets head of the DOT and all of that. So that's where all of these videos are coming from, or where they will be coming from. If you watched all of this video to this point, which I doubt probably 99% has already left this video. When I look at my analytics, it's like, 3-minute duration, 5-minute duration. The last video I put out actually had a 12-minute long duration. So the people that did watch it, it wasn't that many, but the people that did watch it, they stuck around and they listened to a lot of it, which is great. And I got 4 new subscribers out of that video. So there are people that's interested. Maybe not a lot of people, but there are people interested. And I'm going to continue on, following through with this stock thing. I just wanted to do this video because I just wanted to get this out of my system and bring it up. That this is where it ended about 1.5 years ago. And that's why I'm not an owner-operator. That's why I'm company driving. And this is a rebuilding time in my life. It's a rebuilding time, I think, in the country. Rebuilding time in politics. We'll see how it goes. Start looking for some more videos about stocks and more about how to pick brokerages, how to look at stocks, when to get in and get out, all of that stuff. I'm not an expert, but I do have some knowledge in it, and I'm thinking about maybe dipping my toes back into it and making a couple of trades myself. I'm not going to get into it like I did before and stress myself out thinking I'm going to be a millionaire overnight, but hey, if we can make a few dollars here and there with it, follow along. Let's see what we can do. I mean, I'm up for it. Are you? So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. Don't feel bad for me because it all ended, because it's probably all for the good. It probably all had a good intention in the end. I mean, I don't know. But heck, might be an owner-operator again someday. Who knows? Feel bad for Tourette's trucker over there wanting to get rid of his truck, but man, this has been a tough year. It's been a tough 3 years for everybody. It's time for things to get better. So you guys watch out for each other, take care of yourself, and we'll catch you on the next one.